Hello.
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 Every Rush song.
Hello, and welcome to Every Rush Song. We discuss songs by the rock band Rush. Am I reading? I'm reading, aren't I? We cover all aspects of the songs and the recordings, and we will eventually discuss every Rush song. And today, we are discussing, which song are we discussing today, Tim? I think he's doing the drum science.
Ding, ding, ring. Ring. Manhattan Project.
Imagine a podcast when it all began.
Where it all
Dying
began.
days of internet.
In the dying days of internet. A weapon that would skittles with the except for the red ones.
You know, there was a while where that bugged.
like
I didn't like the imagine a man, imagine a time, imagine. I didn't like
Why?
those. But
Very Rod
now-
Serling. Imagine
now
a time.
now I
when it
appreciate
all
it
began.
more. I don't know. It just seemed kind of. At the time, I figured he could have done it a different way that would have been better. But now,
Oh,
Now I get-
it should have been. There was the time when it all began.
no,
In the dying
That's-
days of the war.
that's not. It's not what I said, Tim. And
Settle the score.
Does it
No,
matter
I
how
know
many-
That's not what you're saying.
doesn't matter how many discos you record from.
Well, this is one of my favorite songs on the album. I just want to say that right off the bat.
You should.
Um,
And why
so-
is that?
I don't know. I just like that. I like the story. I like the subject matter.
You
And
like bombs that destroy the world, Jay?
who wouldn't, right?
Oh no.
No.
Yes, you should put it that way.
So here are my thoughts on the lyrics. I put on my readers so that I can read this.
Excellent.
So this song is about that scene in Indiana.
Wait a second. Hang on. I'm sorry, Jay. You got to put on your reading glasses because you're going to be telling us your thoughts.
He
I
wrote his thoughts down. So
I
that
said
he
I
could
wrote my
speak
thoughts
them.
down. I have to read them.
Oh, I did not hear the I wrote them down part.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It just-
that's okay.
Yeah,
You're the guy.
You know what? You know I love you.
I love you more. So that's
Prove it.
oh, you got it, mister. So this song, I think, as we probably all know, is about that scene in Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, where he gets in the frigid air to avoid being dusted by a nuke.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I see
Yeah.
where you're going. I see-
Or again, the pursuit of power, and in this case, revenge, quite literally leads to the creation of a nuclear weapon and dropping atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. On August 6th and 9th. 6th and 9th.
69.
Well, I was born on August 9th,
Oh.
but this was in
Happy birthday,
1945.
Jay.
Yeah, thank you. And
I
little
thought you were
history
making
there.
a 69 point.
No, that's Beer Thursday.
Oh, sorry.
And sure, Japan surrendered 6 days later after effectively putting an end to World War II, but at what cost? This song is just a friendly reminder that if we allow this little game of I did it first to continue, it could ultimately lead to mutually assured destruction.
Oh, my.
Ooh. Okay, I'm going to disagree with just a little bit.
disagree. Sorry, got excited.
Just a little bit of your thought there at the end. I don't necessarily think it's to do it first. I think the thought is to produce the weapon that will scare the bejesus out of the entire world to never mess with us again. and that's been proven wrong through the history of time.
Right. I mean, and that's the
People, they
that's
attacked each other with bones and sticks, and then they made an arrow. Oh, that army's got bows and arrows now. Oh, what are we going to do? Well, then we come up with a sword,
the
and we
snake.
learn
And
how
then we
to
have snakes
wield
and
the
arrows.
sword while riding a horse. And then somebody discovered gunpowder. And no, now we got these things that I don't have to be that close. I'll shoot you from right here. Oh, well, we've taken that gunpowder and we're going to be even further away. We've got cannonballs.
This
and
is
it's
my
gone
boomstick.
From that to that to
Right.
that to that. Everybody trying to come up with that weapon.
Well, I think
So big and badass and powerful that, oh, well, we're the ones that came up with it. Nobody's ever going to get the secrets to how to make one. We will be untouchable for our children's children and our children's children's children and our children's children's children and our children's 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 children. Move along, brother.
but I mean, it's kind of, that's the intention. But what ended up happening is as the line said in the song, whoever found it first would be sure to do their worst. And
well, right. Whoever
that's
comes
not the
up with that
intention, but that's going to be what happens if
right.
we let that thing continue to.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. We want to be the one that carries the big stick.
Exactly.
But
and
we don't
want
have
it to be
use
the
the
stick
stick.
that nobody, right.
Right.
Just let everybody know we got it.
Yeah.
And nobody's ever going to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're not going to touch us.
Right.
And that has always failed.
Right.
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. Like, when in
Agreed.
history has the other side not eventually figured it out? They always figure it out.
Right.
Mm.
We're talking to you, North Korea.
Ooh,
Right.
they figured it out.
Right. We are talking to you, North
Did they
Korea.
figure it out? Yeah. Are they even?
And they're working on it.
Yeah. They'll get there eventually. Just need a little more encouragement.
But see, by the time they come up with it, that's when we'll be the first to come up with the mind bomb. That all we got to do is think it,
Now,
and
see,
everybody starts exploding.
I love it.
Now, if you
I love
ask
it.
me, I already dropped the mind bomb on the Grand Designs episode last week.
That was a pretty good mind
surface
bomb.
tension thing.
Little surface tension, yeah.
Yeah, we
What
learned a lot
jellyfish
about
have to do with
science
it?
during that episode.
Science. Wait till you hear my science on nuclear bombs.
Oh, here we go.
I don't
again
have
with the
any.
Science.
I've got no
Okay, thank you.
science. I've got no science. Science.
By the way, I love the beginning of this song where it starts with that military. I love that military stuff, and then the harmonics with Neil again with the harmonics, not to be confused with harmonicas.
Harmona why? Harmonicas. Tim is trying not to laugh, but he wants
He's
to
trying.
so badly.
Trust
So
me,
bad.
I don't want to laugh.
Oh, he hates us. He hates that he loves us so much. There it is. There it is.
Now, I like what you just said, Jay, but all that other crap. Let's talk about the song, not harmonica.
So, what do you picture in that intro with the military drum and the what is that?
Well, it
Evoke
sounds like
and
sounds like the Enola Gay.
Hey,
Flying.
hey. You can't say that. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You can say it.
Did I miss something in the news this week?
Yes.
Okay, I'll have to
Yeah,
look that up
you
later.
missed it.
Oh man,
But
not
yes,
having-
that's what I imagine. The Enola Gay in flight
Right.
to deliver the
Oh.
bomb, the
Because of that-
Hiroshima bomb.
because that sound.
I
sounds like
think
a-
about the morning, like when it's early in the morning or whenever they're prepping the plane, maybe dawn, the sun's coming up and you're
I don't think Dawn was there. She was at the USO in Pearl Harbor that day.
done from school.
Or
Tom
another
from
Dawn.
Richardson. We have you on the one line.
I can't wait till we set up a thing to take calls. One of these days, I'm gonna buy that, and we're gonna take calls. And when we say on the air, it will
really
well
be
not
on the-
literally be on the air because it'll probably be through fiber, and I guess if it's the satellite, that would be air.
Well,
So you see a morning, Jay, with the.
I see the dawn of like, yeah, it's a start of the day. It's the start of, it's kind of a gentle military start to what's about to happen. And it just kind of builds from there. You get the, I mean, it's not really a rockin' song to say, but it's certainly it's one of the few songs by Rush that I actually understood the first time I heard it. But
That's
I
what you
think the
have me
music
for.
sets the tone as much as that works with the lyrics quite well.
I always picture because there's that little bit of a rocket or something spaceship sound, and I always
That's what I'm
always
talking
pictured,
about.
Yeah, I always pictured too the that's what I mean. I'm agreeing with you, Tim. I'm not trying
Doesn't sound like you are.
I know,
Sounds
I'm
like
agreeing
you're
with
just coming
Tim
up with this all on your own.
that hey, I have an idea. It's the Enola Gay. That's what it
Yes.
is. That's
So
what it
that's
is.
what I was gonna say. It's like
So-
I picture the
Yeah.
Enola Gay.
So I
Thank
agree
you
with
very
Tim.
kindly.
Not this time. Not this. That will work periodically. Might work here in about 30 minutes, but
Right. Not
but
this time,
the
bucko.
da-da-da-da-da-da-da-bum. To me, that reminds me of a firing squad because you've got like the like the snare cadence before the squad shoots, and then the bump is the shot.
Well,
So
because
it's like a
yeah,
firing
they-
squad shot, but
they-
also the big bang.
right. They would do their little like a run, 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 da, da, run, run, run.
Okay, so how
Ah!
many at the
They would do
beginning?
a snare roll, and that's what he does.
And
So in the
speaking of
snare, the boom, boom. How many are there of the booms are there? He does the
Two.
snare and then it's got that
is it two?
Tickety-click, tickety-click. There's three.
there's three. Okay.
Just like that owl trying to figure out how many licks it took to get to the middle of the Tootsie Pop.
14, sir.
2, 3.
But he bites it. So
Right.
it's-
And the little kid was all sad. Then he pulled out a shotgun and shot that owl's head off.
I was about to
Was
blow
that
everybody's minds because I thought for sure that if there was just two, it represented Nagasaki and Hiroshima or Hiroshima.
No, the third one
Wow.
was meant for the Russians. That was the warning shot.
Yes,
That
heard
warning
would come.
shot.
Right.
across the
Okay.
world.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I don't.
Hmm.
Neil Peart allegedly, and I believe it, read 10 or so books trying to get the right feeling for the song. Did he do that?
To me, he did.
Wait,
Dumb
did he
question.
get the feeling or did he actually read 10 books?
Oh, good question.
Well, I was going to say to me, he read 10 books, but not he didn't read them to me. But I feel like he probably did.
Who wrote 10 books? I've
I-
never heard of that one.
Read
Uh,
10.
read 10
wrote
books.
10 books.
You
I
know,
don't know why I'm laughing.
sometimes I can be just as witty as you two morons.
You
Oh
are.
man, I can't wait to hear that.
That should be a drop. Sometimes I can be just as witty as you two morons. We need drops for this show.
We do need drops.
Drops are hard. Drops are too hard. They're way too hard.
That's what she said.
But I think that he
Layout
yeah, I think he
number one.
took 10 books and summed it up between the lyrics that set the mood and then the music that also sets the mood. I think
Yeah,
he
I mean,
summed it up pretty
I-
well.
It's said. I mean, I get the feeling. I mean, it makes. I'm picking up what he's throwing down in that. I really am.
Most of
Really,
it's
I am.
it's more literal. There's not a lot of multiple
not a-
layers of meanings to a lot of the lyrics. I mean, there's a few lines that do, but most part, but there's some really like I like what you were saying, kind of what Tim was saying. Whoever found it first would be sure to do their worst. They always had before.
Right.
But now, when he says they always had before, is he talking about the U.S. specifically, or whoever finds this
talking
new
about it,
weapon in
right.
general?
Whoever
Okay.
it was that created the first bow and arrow, and the
Right.
first
Whoever had the
blue-
biggest stick. Yeah.
right. Whoever did that, that's the they. I mean, look, Shane, I know he's Canadian, but
Really? What?
you know, I mean, Rush owes a lot of their fortune to the United States of America, so I don't think he's dissing America.
He has before though. Couple of
Shut your
times.
ass.
You shut your butthole right now. Shut your butthole.
I mean, for like, you know,
Just
like
shut
there's-
up. Just shut up. Just
there's-
making yourself look stupid.
like beneath, between, and behind. Ghost Rider, the entire book is taking a lot of. He does not like especially people from the South. He did not like
He doesn't like he didn't like people at all in the book. I
like
mean,
tourists
until
with
later,
name tags. Just die.
at least
Whoa,
at first.
dude,
Yeah.
slow down, eh?
Okay, well, but
He had reason not to like anybody at that
he-
point.
he-
He was
We'll
just-
give him a break. He was just, yeah.
yeah. Look,
he went through
he spent most of
hell
that
that most
trip.
yeah.
He spent most of that trip traveling through the United States, and it
Mhm.
was a kind of thing that really it had been a
Excuse me.
long time that he had been out into the actual open public
Mhm.
Yeah.
by himself, no guardians or anything like that, to actually observe the human race,
Yeah.
you know?
And he was really down on the human race, but as the book progressed, you could see that he kind of
But I think he was probably down on a lot of things, you know, the whole reason why he took the trip.
well, yeah, exactly. He was. I mean,
You
that's
know
the
what
whole
I'm
reason for the
saying?
trip.
Do you understand
You're
the words
kind of-
that are coming out of my mouth?
and your forehead. Yes, I do.
Just said the words coming out for it.
So the song, it's got all the right energy to it. Again, it's a red barchetta. It's telling the story,
Right.
you know, and I think when you said earlier, Jay, that you didn't think, did you say you didn't think the song was a rocking song, or you didn't think the intro of the song, the first with the introduction, and then when Getty starts singing, imagine the time. Yeah, that's not really rocking, but man, when they always had before,
Right. It kicks in. Yeah.
they kicks it a little bit,
Yeah.
brings it back down, but then
Yeah.
going into the doom, da, 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 da. Yeah,
Yeah.
big bang. It took and
Get
shook
the world.
It's rocking right there.
Shut
Yes.
down the rising sun.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
pretty straight, like da 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 da. It's nothing
Yeah.
technical or
yeah. There
it's
wasn't all these
4/4,
times.
just
Yes,
eight notes,
it's
it's
4/4
just
in your
da
face.
da 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 da. Yeah.
I love that song.
I
Man,
know.
I love that song.
And like but this was something more. The way he says that,
Mhm.
it was just like, oh no, right? This isn't the usual escalation of military might.
We're not going from a knife, bringing a gun to a knife fight. Okay, we're going to one thing causing destruction that had never been seen before.
Well, like in the third
Oh.
verse, he says, imagine a man when it all began, the pilot of the Enola Gay, flying out of the shockwave of that August day, which was the
Yes.
nukes. All the powers that be in the course of history would be changed forevermore.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just think for the next 45 or so years, we lived thinking that the world was going to end any day because of nuclear war after that.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Well, and it's that whole thing still freaks me out because it could still happen.
Oh, yeah. But now it's going to be dirty nukes and stuff like that. See,
Right.
that's how they're upping it.
Dirty, so
Yeah.
dirty, dirty nukes.
Yeah,
I mean, give me a dirty
think,
martini any day, but a dirty nuke, come on.
you know, think about this now. Me and a couple of childhood friends. One of them, we all know, his name's Mitchell.
Yeah.
And another friend of ours, he was a couple of years older. You know, when we were hanging out Friday nights, Saturday nights, you know, whatever, in the summer times, school days, and, you know, elementary school. Yeah, we played games where we were hunting the Nazis, or we were, you know, going up against the
Oh,
Japanese,
thank
and
you.
cars would be coming down the street, and we tried to be on the lookout. If it looked like a regular car, well, that was just a Jeep full of the enemy. But if it was a truck, that was a Sherman tank. You know, we had our little play guns, because that's, you know, we were still living World War II.
I was living Star Wars. I was on the lookout for the Empire.
Is that a Chevy Citation coming? It's a TIE Fighter.
It's a TIE fighter.
The Chevy Citation.
The Psy machine.
The Psy machine.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But yes, that song, The Big Bang took and shook the world, shot down the rising sun. Now, y'all do know what the rising sun stands for, right?
It
Tell
was
us,
Japan,
Tim.
right?
Yes, it's Japan. That's their flag,
Flag is the
Yeah.
rising sun.
is the rising sun.
I know the way that to phrase it like that. It's just cool.
Right.
It's just
Yes. Now, did you were y'all aware? See, I think again, coming up with this weapon that would
settle the
What-
score.
settle the score, possibly bring the end to the war of all wars, which that was actually supposed to be World War One. But and so it was supposed to be something that the world would be going, how did they come up with something like that? And Japanese scientists, just days after it, knew exactly what it was.
Yeah.
They knew exactly what it was. You know, so where we're thinking, oh, we are so far ahead of everybody, you know, there was people in the world, hey, they knew exactly what we just dropped on them. Now, did they have the know-how and technology to put one of those together? Nope, but they knew what it was.
And they also have the
And more than it just being this really powerful bomb. I mean, they knew what had just hit them.
and from what I understand, I and I could be mistaken. I'm like, from what I understand, Japan was like, yeah, okay, we know what that is. We're never gonna do that. That's just taking it too far. We're not gonna do anything like that.
Oh, I don't know.
Japan kind of learned their lesson from that.
Oh, you mean afterwards? They didn't have the opportunity to use one before.
No, afterwards it was like, oh, they saw
Ah.
what happened. I was like, yeah, is it really worth that? You know, the Japanese are a thoughtful people. Just the World Cup. Let's you know, they're the World Cup. They're playing all these games. After the games, the Japanese fans are picking up all the trash, not because they have to. It's just because
It's
they
the right
feel
thing
that
to do.
the right thing to do. So I'm not saying the Japanese are right. I mean, they bombed Pearl Harbor, those bastards.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that if any of us had a grandfather still alive today that fought in World War II, their opinion would still not be that the Japanese were thoughtful.
Oh no, I had a great uncle that he was not fond. He would never buy any Japanese made automobile.
Yes.
He would not. He would have. Yeah, he was not a fan by any means. But that's the world he lived in. You know, before.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It was a few years ago. Corinne and I were at the World War II Museum in New Orleans, and we were talking to a vet. One of the exhibits, they had a veteran from World War II, and he was telling some stories from the war. You know, like one of his best friends, or I guess best friends in his unit, getting killed right next to him when their ship was under fire. But he seemed to have kind of moved on. Like, I was really surprised that he wasn't holding a grudge like I've seen older people from that, like, you know, like my grandfather, you know, both of them
Yeah.
held on to their grudges. But this guy, a
Mhm.
few years ago, I appreciated his the way he had forgiven, I guess, you know, moved on from what had happened
Maybe
so long
maybe
ago.
he had therapy and realized it was,
Maybe
or
so.
just
That would
came
have
to
been a
the
big part of it.
conclusion.
Is
Yeah. You let that anger stay, it's gonna take over your life. It's not
keep
not
carrying
doing
that
any good.
anger, eat
Yeah.
you up inside. This isn't every Don Henley song. And that's probably
Isn't it?
the two lines right where it does have double meaning. The Big Bang took and shook the world, because he's talking about the Big Bang being the explosion from the blast, but also that technology is kind of isn't that right? Isn't that kind of what they think, that the same nuclear technology is what happened at the Big Bang that created the universe for the non-evolutionists?
Oh, really?
That's
Really?
what CERN is trying to
Really?
figure out.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
CERN?
No. No. There was
Is that-
nothing nuclear about the so-called Big Bang. It was just this really little itty bitty microscopic space. The universe was just
so it's
this
not the
little
same.
pinpoint of just this little ball of energy that,
Beep,
for some
beep,
reason, decided to go
beep,
boom.
Beep beep
beep,
Richie.
beep, 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 beep. Oh, I'm
What is
sorry. I thought
that?
you were getting angry.
Testicles. And then the rising sun. Shut down the rising sun.
Yeah.
Reference to Japan, but also cloud big enough to block out the sun. Now, is that the same power as, like, that turns the sun, generates the heat, the burning there? Is that similar to nuclear power?
No.
I don't
What
know.
blocks out the sun?
Sounds like
I mean,
science. Now, I can
mean-
tell you about surface tension, but nuclear
Yeah.
power, I don't know.
The hopeless depend on a world without end. The hopeful depend. The hopeful depend, yes, on a
On a
world,
world
without
without
end.
end.
Whatever the hopeless may say.
All right,
Whatever the hopeless may
that's
say.
a line I don't understand. That's the one
I do.
I'm not sure everybody's getting it there.
I get it. It's the hopeful. They depend on a world without end. Whatever the hopeless, the people that just don't have the faith, they don't believe that, they're just done. I'm just done. I'm
Right.
hopeless. I'm done. And then you're hopeful, or like, I have faith that, we're better than this. The world without end, perhaps. I mean, that's kind of the way I take it. I don't know, Tim.
No, the hopeful was the Canadian World Cup team that year. And the hopeless at that point was the United States World Cup team. They were just hopeless.
Oh, we're talking about the Miracle on Ice, aren't we?
No, we're talking about the World Cup. How did you get that confused with baseball?
I'm sorry. I was thinking about that the touchdown that they scored. That
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. No, you are correct, Jay.
Yeah,
yes,
it was.
Yes,
it was a touchdown they scored.
weaving. It was basket weaving.
Right,
yes.
right. And then they went for a free throw.
He can't be as clever as us two idiots.
And they won 40 love.
They won 40 love. Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I like?
Sports.
I like. I used to like sports. The first chorus, the Big Bang took and shook the world.
Yeah,
but then the next chorus, Big Bang took and shook the world. He does it differently. So then it sounds, even though he's just changing the rhythm a little bit.
He changes that part, but he still says, shut down the rising sun the same way.
Yeah. But it's just the Big Bang took and shook. He just changes that, but it makes it sound more intense than the previous verse for some reason.
Because his
It
bass
keeps up the
line got
intensity.
more intense.
Does
So,
it?
No, I
Because
was
it's
just
still eighth
throwing-
notes, right?
Yeah,
Because then he
alternates. Yeah,
Oh, I like it though. I like theories. In theory.
That is a great line though. That whole
Yeah.
chorus. The Big Bang took and shook the world, shot down the rising sun. The end was begun, and it hit everyone when the chain reaction was done. The big shots tried to hold it back. Fools tried to wish it away. The hopeful depend on the world without end, whatever the hopeless may say. Ooh, that's some deep shit. Oh, can we say
No.
that?
Now I have to edit again.
Ugh.
How many
Golly,
times
Jay.
am I gonna have to edit this?
Doggone
I think
it,
I
I'm
do. I
sorry.
think I put the E on it. So, and
What is
on
wrong
YouTube, I
with
marked
you?
that it's not for children. Thanks to you two,
Well, what child
jerks.
would want to watch this? Anyway,
smart ones,
good point.
ones
Good
that
point.
can comment about
Good
or
point.
idiots about nuclear fission. Is it fusion or fission?
It's nuclear, by the way.
Well, it depends on what kind of rod and reel you're using.
Okay.
Yeah.
Technically, I think it's nuclear. I think it is supposed officially a 2-syllable word, new, and then not nuclear or nuclear.
Nuclear.
How did George Bush say it?
Nuclear.
Two, it's
Nuclear.
new,
Nuclear.
nuclear.
What is it then?
It kind of
Is the
sounds like a
okay.
soda.
Okay, so you have a nuclear
Drink
family.
nuclear,
And you
no
have a
additives.
nuclear family, and then you have a nuclear family, or which?
Nuclear.
What the hell
Nuclear.
is Goofy?
I'm losing my mind, man.
But when he changes that rhythm of the chorus, he switches back and forth. But to me, it seems like each time makes it a little more intense than the previous time, even though he's just switching back and forth.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's the genius and the magic of Rush.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and so then you get the end of the song, and you're doing it's back to the military snare
Right.
drum,
Back to the firing squad.
right? And it's a nice little slow fade out, and to me,
Planes
that's
landing.
the next group of people starting to work on how they're going to one up the nuclear
Escalation.
bomb.
I was just thinking that is such a good point. Yes.
See, I never put it together.
And
Yes.
then
You
you
wanna
get
do-
the next song, Marathon, and all those people decided to go run a race.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
Ooh, marathon. We should talk about that one next week.
You should.
That would be
I'm
good
gonna go.
because
I'm
that
gonna
would
go
be
out
in
and run
order.
a 0.25.
Should we? Do we want to do that? Go in order?
We should.
Is that all on side A? What's on side A?
So
Is it
okay,
the
so
score?
so far we've covered Big Money, Grand
Better-
Design, and Manhattan Project. So the next one would be Marathon, and then is Marathon on side 1 or side 2?
No, it's the last song on side 1.
Okay, so then side 2 picks up with Territories.
Yeah. Are we gonna? Then do we take a break? We're gonna take a couple of months off for season 1 after side.
No.
After side. No, we're not.
No, we're
Where did you
not.
even get that thought, Jay? We're not.
So
taking a
basically,
break.
we have one more song on
We don't do
side
that.
1 to
One
cover.
more song on side 1.
Look,
Yeah.
we got to approach this the way that Rush approached their career.
Yeah.
Did
yeah.
after the first album and touring with Neil, in support of Rush, the first album, did they take 5 months off? No, they got right back in the
They
studio and
recorded
did Fly By Night.
Yes,
And they
did.
toured with that. Then they
Yeah.
got right back in the studio with Crest and Steel. And same thing with 2112. They were
Yeah.
constantly hitting it hard,
How?
knocking up in them.
How?
Gilded Bangkok is right. I believe that we need to just get right back up inside of it and just keep it on, keep on.
No breaks.
And I
We're not
agree
taking any
with
breaks.
hyperspace subdivisions.
How many songs? 169 songs. Are we going to get through all those by taking breaks?
69 or 67? Because 69 would be wonderfully funny.
Would it?
I don't know. I've
All
always
right.
been partial to 69.
Wow.
Just 'cause, the year I was born.
Well, I hope you you two read the books I assigned you for marathon.
What? I was not told. First of all,
math.
I wasn't told there'd be math in like the previous episode. Now
Standard
you're telling
math.
me there's there's
Reading?
there's
The
homework,
science of running.
reading?
We're going to work out running cadence, all that kind of stuff.
Tim,
But
Tim,
until then, Tim,
what do we
Tim,
do?
Tim,
This is what we do.
tell us, Tim. Help
Thank
us.
you very much. We're going to take about a 20-minute break right now for a little brain surgery. Good night.